Two cities, same country, completely opposite worlds. London became one of the richest cities on earth, while Liverpool nearly collapsed. But the real reason why might surprise you. If London were removed from the UK economy, Britain would instantly shrink on the global stage. If Liverpool disappeared, Britain would lose part of its identity. So how did two cities just 200 miles apart become the opposite of each other? And what does that reveal about modern Britain? If you're interested in the hidden geography behind global power, consider subscribing for more deep dive analyses like this. To understand this divide, we need to go back centuries. London was never just a city, it was the command center of an empire. The monarchy ruled from here, Parliament made decisions from here, money flowed through here. The River Thames wasn't just water, it was the artery of global trade. From London, Britain managed territories across Africa, Asia, the Americas, and beyond. Liverpool began very differently. For centuries, it was a modest coastal town. Then in the 18th century, everything changed. Liverpool became one of the most important ports in the Atlantic world. Ships left Liverpool for West Africa, from there to the Caribbean, and then back to Britain. The city became immensely wealthy. At one point, it rivaled London in commercial importance. But that wealth had a dark foundation. Much of it was tied to the transatlantic slave trade. Here's where the first major contrast appears. London was the brain of the empire. Liverpool was one of its strongest arms. But when the British Empire declined, those roles mattered. London adapted. It transformed from imperial capital into a global financial powerhouse. The city of London became one of the most influential financial districts on Earth. Banks, investment firms, global capital networks. London reinvented itself. Liverpool struggled. As shipping patterns changed and containerization reshaped global trade, Liverpool's port lost dominance. Industry declined, jobs disappeared, entire neighborhoods were affected. By the 1970s and 80s, Liverpool faced severe economic hardship, and this is where the cultural divergence deepened. Where London became wealthier and more global, Liverpool became more defiant and locally rooted. Where London benefited from financial globalization, Liverpool bore the cost of deindustrialization. But economics is only part of the story. The deeper divide is identity. London is one of the most cosmopolitan cities in the world. Over 300 languages are spoken there. More than a third of its residents were born abroad. It operates on a global frequency, comparable to New York, Paris, Tokyo. Liverpool is international too, but emotionally regional. People there often identify first as Scousers. A distinct accent, a distinct humor, a distinct sense of solidarity, and historically a skepticism towards political power in London. This tension became visible in the 1980s when the national government clashed sharply with Liverpool's local leadership. Many residents felt abandoned. That sentiment shaped generations. Even in more recent political moments, the contrast is revealing. Take Brexit. London voted strongly to remain in the European Union. Liverpool did too, but for different reasons. In London, the argument was largely economic, finance, global markets, mobility. In Liverpool, the reasoning often centered around regional funding, solidarity, and international cooperation. Same vote, different worldview. Even the architecture tells a story. London stretches upward. Glass towers, steel skylines, financial modernity. Liverpool's waterfront tells a different tale. Historic docks, maritime heritage, industrial legacy. Two skylines, two identities, and then there's culture. London feels ambitious, fast, career-driven. Liverpool feels communal, resilient, proudly outspoken. In London, someone might ask, "What do you do?" In Liverpool, you're more likely to be asked, "Where are you from?" Or even, "Which club do you support?" And even football reflects the divide. In Liverpool, clubs are deeply tied to community identity. In London, many clubs operate as global brands. But here's where it gets interesting. Despite all these differences, neither city can exist in isolation. London generates a massive share of the UK's economic output. Tax revenues and financial flows support infrastructure and services nationwide. Liverpool represents cultural resilience, creative energy, Working class solidarity. The Beatles didn't emerge from the financial district, they emerged from Liverpool. Major cultural revolutions often begin far from political centers, and that's the key insight. London represents power, Liverpool represents character. London is globally connected, Liverpool is locally grounded. London moves capital, Liverpool moves culture. So maybe they aren't true opposites. Maybe they are structural counterweights. A nation needs a financial engine, but it also needs cities that anchor identity and social cohesion. Without London, Britain loses economic leverage. Without Liverpool, Britain loses part of its soul. And that's why they feel like opposites. They reveal a deeper truth about regional inequality, about globalization, about what holds modern nations together. If you've made it this far, you'll probably enjoy our next deep dive into another unexpected geographic divide. What city do you think better represents Britain's future? Let me know in the comments. And if you're curious about the hidden geography behind global power, there's much more to explore, because sometimes the biggest contrasts tell us the most about a country.